While almost every building incorporates elements to keep its occupants, contents, and the built asset itself safe, some buildings take security to the extreme. From underground military bunkers and gold reserves to historic and rarely accessed religious archives, these are the world's most secure buildings. Built adjacent to the Cheyenne Mountain Air Force Base and at a depth of 610 meters below ground, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado acted as the center for NORAD and the United States Space Command, monitoring North American airspace for Soviet missiles and aircraft throughout the Cold War. Consisting of a labyrinth of tunnels and 15 buildings mounted on shock-absorbing springs, the facility is capable of withstanding and remaining operational in the event of a 30-megaton nuclear blast, and is protected by a series of 25-ton steel blast doors. While the end of the Cold War saw NORAD and Space Command operations move from the facility, the complex still operates as an Air Force training station and as a backup strategic command center. Though most national archives are available to the public, the same cannot be said of the papal archives, located within the walls of the Vatican City in Rome. Home to more than 1,200 years of historical documents and texts, the archives were completely off limits to anyone outside the inner circle of the Catholic Church prior to 1881. While limited access can now be requested, the process to gain entry is amongst the strictest anywhere in the world. Journalists, students, and amateur historians are forbidden from entering, and credentials are only granted to academic scholars, who must renew their access requests every 6 months. When permission is granted, scholars enter the Vatican through a designated entry point which is protected by the Swiss Guard, and are escorted into the archives where they can view up to 3 pre-requested documents each day. While personal computers are allowed into the archives, photography of the material is forbidden. Since being open to scholars, only a handful of photographs of the more than 80 kilometers of archive shelving have ever been taken. The United States Bullion Depository at Fort Knox is perhaps one of the world's most famous secure buildings. Often referred to as Fort Knox due to the building's location adjacent to the Fort Knox military base and its fortress-like appearance, the facility holds large portions of the United States gold reserves and is heavily guarded at all times by the United States Mint Police. Surrounded by a series of fences and constructed with granite walls, the vault is protected by a 20-ton blast-proof security door that requires passcodes unique to each member of the depository staff. While the facility doesn't hold as much gold as the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, access to the depository is much more heavily restricted. While daily tours operate in the Federal Reserve, Fort Knox has only allowed external visitors from outside the Treasury Department onto the premises twice since its completion, once in 1974 and again in 2017. As our world becomes ever more reliant on online services, internet service providers are going to great lengths to secure their systems. Nowhere is this more apparent than at the underground data center operated by Swedish internet provider Bahnhof. Built 30 meters beneath a granite mountain, the facility originally operated as a Cold War bunker and was designed to offer protection from a nuclear war between Soviet and Western forces. With servers located deep within the mountain and only accessible via a single tunnel protected by a 70-centimeter thick steel door, the data center is capable of surviving the blast of a hydrogen bomb and can operate independently of the national grid thanks to 2 submarine engines that act as backup generators. While the facility is considered to be one of the most secure data centers in the world due to its subterranean location, its working environment is made more welcoming for employees, with simulated daylight, fountains, greenhouses, and a saltwater fish tank. Perhaps one of the most recognizable buildings in the world, the White House in Washington, D.C. employs a number of sophisticated measures in order to protect the President of the United States and their administration. While visitors are able to tour parts of the White House complex, all bookings must be made in advance with at least 21 days' notice to allow time for background checks. US citizens must request access through their member of Congress, while international visitors are advised to contact their embassies. The White House complex lies at the center of a highly restricted 15-mile flight exclusion zone surrounding Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. A number of surface-to-air missile launchers are also positioned across the city, ready to intercept any aircraft that do not comply with direction from the US Air Force. On the building itself, roof-mounted radar closely monitors the area around the White House. Additionally, the perimeter of the White House is monitored by an array of infrared cameras, able to detect the slightest temperature change and alert security to any potential threats. While most of the White House defences operate hidden from public view, the White House fence surrounding the entire premises is an imposing piece of fortification in itself. Standing 2.1 metres or 7 feet tall on crash-resistant concrete footings, the wrought iron fence is topped with a series of spikes to deter climbers. In 2017, plans were approved to increase the height of the fence to 3.3 metres, and for the fence to be fitted with sensors that alert security when pressure is applied to the bars. In addition, the building's bulletproof windows are capable of resisting multiple direct impacts from semi-automatic weapons. Below ground, the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, or PEOC, located under the East Wing, and the Situation Room, located under the West Wing, are facilities able to continue operation, even in the event of a nuclear blast. If you enjoyed this video and would like to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, subscribe to the B1M.